As I already said, polarization is a mechanism of separation of the electric positive and negative charges in the presence of an electric field. How do we polarize a given molecule? There are many mechanisms, and I am going to discuss the three different ways in which a molecule can be polarized. And the three mechanisms are, the first one is called electronic polarization. Electronic polarization. So what is an electric polarization? Let me try to consider an atom. An atom has a centrally nucleus which is positive in charge, and electrons are around. These are the electrons moving around the given nucleus. Now if I ask you what is the net dipole moment of this molecule, is going to be equal to 0, because all the effective charges of the electrons and the positive charges are going to overlap. But when the same material is being applied by an electric field, a strong electric field, wherever this positive nucleus is slightly displaced, it is going to slightly displace, and all these electrons are moving around such that there is a net drifting of the electron that is taking place. Therefore, now the positive negative charges are going to separate only in the presence of an electric field. And this kind of polarization of the electron or electronic charges in the presence of the electric field, is what is called as a electronic polarization. And the electric polarization can be calculated by means of a coefficient called coefficient of electronic polarizability, alpha E, which is being given by the equation epsilon naught m to epsilon r minus 1 divided by n, where n is the number of atoms per unit volume of the material. However, electronic polarizability is reciprocal to n, because more is the number of atoms, lesser is the polarizability, and this is the first mechanism with which you are able to polarize a given molecule. The second polarization taking place in the material is due to its ionic in nature, and this is called ionic polarization. Ionic polarization. Now, what do you mean by ionic polarization? Try to take the example of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is an ionic material. In the case of sodium chloride, we have a sodium, we have chlorine, a sodium, chlorine, like this, chlorine, sodium. Alternatively, the positive negative charges are being separated. This is how the structure of a sodium chloride. And if I ask you what is the net effective center of this, is going to be equal to 0. Hence, the material is going to exhibit the net dipole moment equal to 0. But when the same material is being applied by an electric field, if you try to apply an electric field, a very strong electric field, the positive charge due to this positive electric field slightly displaces from here to towards this side, and this negative charge slightly comes closer. This positive charge will move little away, and this negative charge will slightly displace. But on the next side, you can see the negative is being attracted by the positive charge, and this positive will be shifted that side, and the negative will be attracted and the positive charge here. And this is how exactly the displacement of the positive and the negative ions is going to take place in the presence of an electric field. And due to this separation, if I ask you what is exactly the net dipole moment, the net dipole moment is not equal to 0. That means it is going to exhibit a net dipole moment. And the process of the polarization in the case of ionic molecules is what we call as the electronic polarization. So this is the second kind of polarization we have. The third kind of polarization is the orientational polarization. Orientational polarization. This is the third kind of polarization in the molecules. Now, try to take the example of water. We are already aware that water is a dipole, because a water has got an oxygen atom and there are two hydrogen atoms. So there is one positive and there is a negative, and the direction of this molecule is going to be like this, because for any given dipole the direction is from negative towards a positive. Therefore, a water molecule has got dipole like this. But it is not necessary that every oxygen molecule like this. An oxygen molecule could be even like this. It could be even like this. At that time, the direction of the dipole is along like this. So, in a bulk material, some of the dipoles like this, some of the dipoles on the opposite side. So, there are random oriented dipole moments that is going to take place. The dipoles are all in the different directions. They're all. And if I ask you what is the net dipole moment of the molecule, the net dipole moment of the molecule is going to be 0 because they are randomly oriented. But if the same molecules are being applied by a very strong electric field, if you apply a very strong electric field, every dipole try to rotate along the direction of the electric field. Every dipole is going to rotate along the direction of the electric field. And now if I ask you, the net dipole moment is not equal to 0. And now the process of bringing the dipole moment in the presence of an electric field by rotating the dipoles along the direction of the electric field is what we call as an electric polarization. And this electric polarization can be calculated by means of alpha naught. It is called orientational polarizability. It is given by the equation mu square, that is a dipole moment square, divided by 3 into K into T, where K is the Boltzmann constant and T is the absolute temperature. Therefore, in the case of orientational polarization, the polarizability depends on the temperature and it is reciprocal to the temperature, which says that more is the temperature, lesser is the electronic polarizability. Now, these are the three different kind of polarization. One is called electronic polarization, the second one is called as a ionic polarization, and the third one is called as a orientational polarization. And the sum of all the three polarization is the net polarization that you find in any given molecule. Any given molecule, this is the amount of polarization that is going to take place. Therefore, we are able to polarize any given molecule to any extent based on the amount of electric field. But all materials do not have all these alpha E, alpha naught as well as alpha I equally. It all depends on the kind of materials. In the case of ionic materials, this is predominant. Alpha I is predominant. But in the case of non-polar molecules, polar molecules, oriental polarization is predominant. So, depending on the kind of molecules, the three polarizability is going to vary. But however, the net polarization is always equal to the sum of the polarization of the three. Now, due to polarization, am I able to have an external additional field created inside a material? And that external electric field is what we call as an internal field. This is named as the internal field. So let us try to find out what is the internal field in the case of molecules. Now, to understand the internal field in the case of a molecule, I will try to consider the molecules in a single direction. I will consider the molecules in a single direction. So, let us try to take all these molecules are oriented in one particular direction. Let us say this is how these molecules are being separated, and every molecule is being separated by distance d. Every molecule is being separated by distance d. So let me consider a molecule X, and this X molecule is surrounded by one molecule here A1, and there is one more molecule, I'll write it is going to be A2, and both molecules are being equally spaced on either side. I'll try to consider one more molecule B1 which is being separated at distance 2d, and I'll try to consider one more molecule B2 which is also from X, it is at a distance 2d. So if you consider a molecule here C1 and C2, they are at a separation of 3d from the single molecule. Now when these molecules are being applied by an electric field, there is a field externally connected over X. Not only that, every other molecules also going to have some kind of electric field on this electric dipole. So what is the net electric dipole? The sum of the net electric dipole that is applied and the electric field that is acting due to internally is what we call as the net internal electric field. That means whenever the dipoles are being present in the presence of an external electric field, they do not have electric field only due to applied electric field, but also due to the neighboring dipoles. Therefore, the net internal electric field is EI is always equal to the sum of the applied electric field and the internal field. And this electric field is derived as E, that is the applied electric field, divided by 1 minus 1.2 into alpha E divided by pi into epsilon naught into d cube, where E is alpha E is nothing but electronic polarizability, d cube where d is the distance of the separation between this. Therefore, the internal electric field depends on the external electric field, but also depends on the electric field due to the neighboring dipole, and this is how every dipole is going to have a net electric field in the presence of an external electric field. Now, this is in the case of a one-dimensional material. But the same electric field, if you consider in a three-dimensional material, the internal electric field can be rewritten as E plus gamma divided by epsilon naught into P, where P is the net polarization, gamma is a constant, it is a proportionality constant, and E is the applied electric field. Therefore, in a three-dimensional material, in a 3D material, 3D means in a bulk material, the net internal electric field is given by E plus gamma divided by epsilon naught into P. You know, Lorentz is one of the scientists who derived this equation, and he found out for a cubic material, for a cubic structured material, the value of gamma he found it as 1 by 3. Therefore, for a cubic material, he calculated for the internal electric field E is equal to E plus P divided by 3 into epsilon naught. This is what the relation between the electric field and applied electric field with the amount of polarization, because this electric field is only due to the polarization. This is the applied electric field, and that will going to give you the net external internal field within the material. Now, do we have a relation between the internal field and that of the dielectric constant, and that we can derive using the relation called Clausius-Musotti equation, and that I will try to derive in the next video.